Hey everybody, welcome to this little tutorial about how to edit the continuity editing assignment using Final Cut in our Edit Bay. So I'm in Edit Bay 3 right now working on the 5K iMac. You see this beautiful Sierra desktop in the background. So first we want to get those raw files for the continuity editing project. So what I want to do is go up here to the Go menu, click on Connect to Server, and if you don't know that number, you might want to write this down. Maybe it's already here in your favorite servers, but it's 216.229.226.187. And just put those numbers in, click Connect, and that will take you up on our SJC server and get access to the classroom folders. Here's digital storytelling and click OK. As the digital storytelling folder opens up, we see this little folder called resources, and the continuity editing raw clips are all right here. There's 8 of those clips. We're just going to take this folder and drag it to the desktop. Now, that's not always the best place to put raw media when you're editing, but for this assignment it's going to be okay. We'll just keep them right there. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Final Cut down here, this little slate down here in the dock. And as Final Cut is launching, we are going to just make sure we set up a new project. We go up here to the File menu and click New and then Project, and we'll call this by my last name, Roof Continuity Editing, and click OK. Check the Return button. It's created this project right here, and the next step is to import the raw clips from the desktop. I go down here to Import, click Media, and it's going to show me the various places that they're available. Here's the Macintosh HD, the users. I'm sroof, so if you look down here, it's going to be right here on the desktop, and it's in that folder called Continuity Clips. Just click on the folder, and we're just going to say Import Selected. And there are the 8 clips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you'll see them sitting right up there. So what we want to do to kind of get used to these, you can see as I take the cursor, I can scroll through each one of these clips. It's actually called scrubbing, and I can see up in the big monitor to the right the actual enlarged picture. Here's the close-up of the hands on the keyboard. Here is the medium shot of our subject walking into the frame and sitting down and typing and looking up at the clock at various times, and then notice he walks out of frame. But we actually have a bigger shot of that. This is the master shot, the widest shot, where again the subject walks into the frame and sits down at the computer and types away, looks up at the clock occasionally, and then walks out. Here we have another type of, it's a kind of a medium close-up. He doesn't walk into frame, but you can see there are times when he looks up at the clock. Yes, that might be useful in our little story that we're going to cut, and he does that at least, I think at least a couple of times there. Well, at least once anyway. Yeah. All right, and he does walk out. Look at that. He gets up, so that might be useful to use right there. Here's a close-up of the mouse, and not only do we have just the hand on the mouse, but also a shot here. No, look at that. There's the hand going out of frame and then coming back into frame. Oh, okay. We'll remember that. That might be helpful. And then here's a close-up of what the subject typed on the screen. That's all we see. It's just locked down on a tight shot of the screen itself. So those are our 8 clips. Let's start with the wide shot. So what I want to do is I want to take the beginning, and with the cursor here, I'm going to reach out to the keyboard and press just the letter I. And notice it has now selected this clip and put an endpoint right there on the first frame of video. When I press the space bar, you'll see the a shot, the actual cursor move, or the playhead move through the clip. Now I'm going to press the O letter on the keyboard, and notice how that's now created a little box that marks the endpoint and the output of the selected clip. If I want that down in the timeline, I simply take my mouse, you'll see it turns into a little hand, and I drag it straight down onto the timeline. And there you have it, my first clip on the timeline. Now, if I like to see this a little better, I could go over here and you notice this little movie, kind of like a little movie clip. This actually allows me to adjust the size, so I can increase the size of that clip on the timeline. And this allows me to actually extend it out farther if I wanted to see more of the clip. By the way, a shortcut for that is Command plus. You see, I'm hitting the Command plus there, and if you want to reduce it in size, here's the Command minus key. So there you have it. I press the space bar, and the playhead moves across the clip, and as we see it, enlarged in the screen above. How long is that? Well, you can actually see here the elapsed time of this clip. With it selected, it's just about 5 seconds long. You can see right here, 5 seconds is the length of this clip on the timeline. That might be kind of long, but we'll shorten it down if we have to. By the way, to shorten it, all we have to do is just notice as I move the mouse right over the end of the clip, it gets into that position. That allows me to trim the end of the clip shorter, so that if I don't want it 5 seconds, or maybe something more like 3 seconds, there it is, 3 seconds long. I select it. Yeah, it's about 3 seconds. There it is, and it sits down. All right, so he's walked into the wide shot, sat down. What might make a good next shot? Well, let's see. This was kind of a medium shot. Oh yeah, now here he walks in. This might be a good place to get him walking into the shot. I'm going to back him out of the frame, again using the playhead up here on the little clip. And just before he walks in the frame, I'm going to hit the letter I. That marks the endpoint. Hit the space bar. It allows it to play out. And I'm going to stop it there. Click the O to mark the out point, and that has marked an in and out. And again, I'm going to take this clip and drag it down to the space, around to the timeline, and see how these two look. Oh yeah, okay, so here he is walking in, and there he is coming into the shot. Now obviously that's not working. He's already sat down, and here he still hasn't sat down. So we've got to fix this somehow. Either I've got to trim it back to here, the first clip back to here just before he sits, or I've got to trim this one here where he's already sat down. Anyway, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to trim it back just as he's in the act of sitting down, right about there. And then I'm going to take this and make sure I take this clip, and let's see how that cuts. Well, yeah, I might need to take this and actually trim this down a little more. Let's see how that works. Yeah, pretty good. I maybe trim this one down a little bit more. See what I'm doing? I'm shortening the amount of time. Oh, there you go. That's much better. Let's take a closer look. I'm using the right and left arrows on the keyboard now just to go frame by frame on the timeline. And here's the actual edit. Here's the last frame on the first clip. You see him just as he's about to sit down, and then there's the next shot. And that's pretty good. It's kind of just about where you might expect him to be in time. So that really is a matched action cut. In other words, we're cutting on the action, and there he sits right down, and you have it. Yeah, very nice. I think the next shot might. Let's see, what did we have here? What is the next thing he does? He sits down and, he grabs the mouse. Look at that, his hand is going right on top of the mouse. That might be a really good moment to get. So I'm going to take that, just that moment where he reaches out, grabs the mouse, and I'm going to look up here. Seems like there was a place up here in the mouse video where his hand comes right down into, right there. His hand comes right down into the frame. I'm going to back it out, and I'm going to click the NI for in. That's my in point. Press the space bar. It's playing out. There he's doing a little bit of clicking. And just before he takes his hand out, I don't quite think I want that. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I'll leave it in. I'll click the O button. Again, I'm going to take this right down here, and let's see if this cuts, how well this cuts. Hand reaches over to the mouse. It's almost good. I may need to fix this a little bit. Again, I'm going to use the left and right arrow to carefully look at this transition. It's a straight cut, just a straight cut transition. Here is hand on top of the mouse. It's coming in. I might just want to trim this up just a bit so that it's right there as his hand. Yeah, and maybe just back this off a bit. That works. Yeah, that's better. And his hand comes out. I'm gonna cue that up. Let's see, where does his hand come out in this shot here? I'm looking back here. Okay, I'm just scrubbing back and forth. His hand comes actually out to the keyboard Well, let's see. It was right a bit. Look at this. Hand coming right down on the keyboard. I'm going to put my N button right there, and he starts typing, and I'm going to put the O button, click the O button on the keyboard. There's my little clip. Bring it right back down here, and let's look at that. Yeah, oh, that's a nice seamless cut. Man, I just nailed that. Look at that. Just let's look at that carefully. Hand comes off the mouse, and then look at that. It comes right off the mouse, right on the keyboard, and he starts typing. All right, now, this might be a good point. Let's see, how long is it? I got to keep each one of these clips a minimum of 2 seconds, so let's count from right here. 1, 2, okay, that's at least 3 seconds, so I'm just going to put this down. He's looking down, so where would a good logical shot go? He's looking down. He's connecting here to his maybe a good place to go show a close-up of the keyboard. Oh, yeah, I do. I have a close-up of the keyboard. Here he is, just kind of randomly typing away. Let's put an endpoint there. Pick up about 2 or 3 seconds of this. Hit the space bar. Press O for my out. I'm going to put this down here. See how Final Cut, it just snaps the clip right next to the last one. It's so nice. Boom, there it is. He's doing some more clipping. Boy, I would love to be able to get him looking at the screen. I'm going to go up here. Oh, yeah, he's looking at the screen. See, he's looking down. Oh, there he is. He's looking. I'm going to get him looking down and then looking up at the screen. I like that moment. Right there. I'm going to take the edit, hit I. Get up a little shot. Boom. Right before, I'm going to take it right before he looks down. Hit the O, which is the out point. Grab that clip. Let's put it right here. I hope that's long enough. Let's see. Here he is typing away. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that works. This might be a little long. Let's shorten that up. There we go. And there he is looks up at the screen. What do we show next? Well, we don't know what he's typing, but we do have a shot of the screen. So over here, wow, there it is. Now he's already been typing some, so we can't start at the beginning. I mean, we could have if we have edited this maybe a different way, but he's already been typing, so we don't know how much. Dear Mom, the best part of, maybe let's take it right about here. The best part of my, we don't want to take it too far. I'm going to click the I for the end point. Going to do some more of this, and maybe take it there, and let's see how well this cuts. Yep, there we go. The best part of my videography class. Okay, there we go. And hey, there we go. We are halfway done. We've already got 16 seconds edited. Now let's see. How many clips did we needed? We needed actually 12 edits. It's not the number of clips. It's actually the number of edit transitions. So let's make sure you know what those are. Here's the first one, the first cut. You see, you don't count the first frame of video. It's right here. That's the first cut, the second cut. All right. There's the third cut, the fourth cut, the fifth cut, the sixth cut. So we are halfway. We're right about on track here. Here we are about 13 seconds in, and we've already got 6 edits. And we need a total of 12. You have to have at least 12. That's a minimum of 6 edits. So we probably have time here to add another 6 and keep it all, yes, under 30 seconds. Just a couple of other things I want to show you. I'm not going to finish the exercise because I want to leave that up to you, but there's obviously some neat stuff that you can work in. Here's this whole little scene where he looks up at the clock, and you have different scenes that you can work with. He actually looks up at the clock right, let's see, isn't there a place here where he looks up at the clock? Well, maybe not that close up, but there is here. Oh yeah, he looks up at the clock there. Hey, think about that shot and maybe working it into this shot. There he is, the cutaway, looking up at the clock there. So think about, oh, there's another place where he looks up at the clock. Oh, so you could build a whole little sequence right about of him looking at the clock. So let's work that into the last half of this 30-second sequence. And just one other thing, couple other things I want to show you. First is how to use a dissolve. You need to fade in from black for the first frame and the last frame of video. So it's very simple. You go right over here to the end, click on that little dissolve or transition menu, and it's just simply a cross dissolve, which is the first one you see. Take it and drop it right over here on the timeline, and you can see as I press the space bar, boom, just really nice fade in from black, and that's just perfect. I could speed it up a little bit if I just grabbed this, and I could make it a little faster fade in if I wanted. There it is. That's good though. And say I wanted the last one, if we were just pretending this was the last frame, again I would just drop it over this, and there you have it. Just fade to black. That's it. If you're done and you've got it all under 30 seconds, 12 interior edits, no jump cuts, no clip shorter than 2 seconds, none longer than 5. Yeah, you don't probably need any 5 second clips. That might compromise your editing. Let's go up here to share. Say you're done and ready just to export this. That's what Apple calls exporting, is sharing. And if you just clicked on this master file, okay, and it's going to bring up this little dialog box. Simply go to settings, and you're going to change this from, it might show Apple ProRes at first, like that. I would change this to H264. Notice how that really shortens the time. At Apple ProRes, it's going to make a much larger file. Here it is, 300 megabytes. By changing this to 264, you're really compressing the video down a lot more, and it's only 48 megs. So that's really all you need. We're going to click Next. We're going to give it a name. I'll just keep the name of Roof Continuity Editing, and I'm going to save it to the desktop. Click it right there, and click Save. And right there, you can see the elapsed time taking place. In fact, it may have already finished up the elapsed time, and I think it's probably, there it is, right up there. There's a little clock, and when it hits boom, you're done. And if we were just to minimize this, you can see on the desktop, here's your file where you've just, I'm sorry, that's not it. It would be Roof Continuity Editing. It should be right here. Yeah, there's your QuickTime file. If you right-click on that, you can see how large it is. There it is, 37 megabytes. And if you need to play it back, you can just see it. Here it is, fading in from black. There's your finished project. And that is where you would, this is the file that you would edit up or upload to the server, which again is the class folder here from the server. Do we have the digital storytelling mounted? We did. There it is, over here on the side. And we're going to take that continuity editing project. I'm going to make a file for it right here. Continuity editing exercises for everybody. Continuity, got to spell it right. Exercise. And there's the new folder. And I'm going to take what I just created and drop it right into that. And you're done. It just it's going to take a little while, and now it's done. And you're finished. Hope this helps. And we'll see you guys next week.